in 140 games dating back to college. However, the Fever overcame to beat Atlanta at 81-76. Stephen A., what's the bigger headline from last night? The dust-up with Howard or Caitlin not hitting a three?
Pulled up from the logo, no hesitation, no mercy. And in that moment, the entire WNBA held its breath. This wasn't just a bucket, it was a warning shot. Caitlin Clark stepped into that Fever versus Sky game like she had receipts to cash and a league to shake. No warm-up, no easing in.
19 a game this year. She's leading the league in assists with 9 assists per game. We know her game will be there. Her shot will be there. It just wasn't there last night. The issue is anytime she gets into a confrontation, because whether we like it or not, I'm not trying to say there is a racial dynamic as if it's something specifically against her. Fellas, Molly, that's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that Caitlin Clark comes into the league, you know, with major sizzle, many
cold-blooded three from 27 feet out, like it was personal, because it was. 2.7 million people tuned in, the most watched WNBA game in 23 years. And what they saw wasn't just a rookie showing out, it was a rookie rewriting the script.
Many years before Caitlin Clark ever arrived that didn't receive that shine. So there is resentment from the perspective that, damn, we were doing this and everybody's trying to act like it's just her. They're not hating on her specifically like she did something, but they do resent the fact that a white player comes along and they're getting all of this shine when they were doing a lot of great things for the league. And
30 points, one night, endless headlines. But here's the part no one's saying out loud. They tried to bury her in hate. Said she was all hype, too privileged, too protected, too white. And yet, she kept hooping because Caitlin Clark didn't come to be your favorite. She came to be undeniable. The Fever didn't just walk into that game, they stormed it.
The way Caitlin Clark, if we're going to make comparisons a lot for number one picks, ran right into like a stout Suns defense and, you know, had a bunch of turnovers and things like that. I think that the reality is that it's just a tough matchup. It's a hard first game, and there were other things going wrong with the Wings, which we'll dive into. And beyond everyone starting cold, Arike lost her composure mentally. I've seen this happen in the past, and there's like a theme of this opening weekend of the team that has a player crash out.
Clark wasn't just shooting, she was speaking, with every pull-up 3 louder than the last. And suddenly the narrative cracked. This wasn't just a moment, it was the moment. The one where the league realized she's not backing down. She's here to own the court, in every camera watching, because love her or hate her, you will talk about her. And if this was just the first act, they say it's just a rivalry. But if that's true, why is every camera in the league glued to Clark versus Reese like it's Game 7 of the finals? People aren't ready to hear this. This isn't some manufactured drama cooked up by media hype machines. This is real. Angel Reese's shove, Caitlin Clark's icy stare.
They lose. The team doesn't perform, and Arike didn't perform tonight, and the Wings D struggled mightily. They struggled. Melissa Smith does not look like there's been any improvement in that area, you know, even though she's flanked by Chennedy Carter, who is a good defender. I think overall, just in general, this Wings team, they don't have a lot of size. Dejanay, Segrist, Ty Harris, they looked good out there, but this team...
Social media melting down like it's WrestleMania, but with basketball jerseys instead of leather jackets. Pat McAfee says it's real, and so do 3 million people who watched their first WNBA showdown live. Sure, some pundits try to play it cool, saying it's not that deep. Cool, then why do fans treat this like the fiercest beef since LeBron versus KD? This rivalry is more than highlight reels and memes. It's a collision of style, swagger, and cultural flashpoints. The old guard versus the new wave. Clark's calculated calm meets Reese's fiery edge, and the league's watching to see who cracks first.
They're just going to have a lot of problems this season. Tara McCowan was seen storming out, celebrate, getting their rings, and making the aces fold because, man, oh man, did the Liberty look good. That game started close, but the aces for the first half mostly just ran through Asia Wilson and only had Asia Wilson. Everyone else was not really making shot and making anything happen. Jackie Young eventually found her shot, but it was way too late in this game. And they just are really missing a reliable secondary scoring option, as well as the fact that their interior defense, it's bad. It's like, it's a gaping wound in this team's hopes for making a championship run or a deep playoff run at all. Again, they still have decent talent on the team, but Jewel Lloyd did not have a good game, and I pray for her that if she thought the Seattle was a tough environment to deal with, I feel like the Aces are not going to be a more welcoming environment. So hopefully she finds her performance and can get her mental back, because it just bums me out big. Like,
NBA fans know this story cuts deeper. It's about respect, identity, and who gets to own the spotlight in a league hungry for stars. Question isn't if it's real, it's how far it will go. And trust me, you won't want to miss what happens when the heat really turns up. Caitlin Clark dropped a triple-double so clean, it looked like she was hacking the game. Angel Reese? Quiet enough to make the away bench seem loud. People aren't ready to hear this, but Clark wasn't just playing basketball. She was orchestrating a clinic. No-look passes that sent defenders into full-on coma mode. Logo distance. Bombs like she was auditioning for a video game. Controlling the tempo like she owned the clock. Zero lies detected. Meanwhile, Reese's night? A masterclass in frustration. Push-offs called out, pouts flashing, and the stat sheet telling a brutal story. Almost invisible next to Clark's takeover. When Pat McAfee said, "This isn't attitude, this is basketball," he wasn't sugarcoating. Reese's fire burned out against Clark's icy precision. And that moment, Clark's famous, "What the hell is that?" face after Reese's questionable shove. Iconic. It wasn't just a reaction, it was the scoreboard speaking for her. Because drama sells, but dominance? You can't fake that. This wasn't just a game, it was a statement.
I would say that Sabrina, who had an off night, was not good from three. It would normally be the vocal kind of leader you see her talking a lot. Stewie is actually a lot more quiet, unless like it's like crunch time. You know, you saw her in the finals last year. Like, she will generally be kind of like that stoic vet player, and Sabrina would normally be the vocal player. But Natasha Cloud has taken that mantle, and like physicality, she got elbowed to the jaw. She just like, doesn't matter, took it on the chin. I'm making my free throws. Like, she played out of her mind and put up 22 points in just an absolute physical and emotional leader performance. Crazy to see from her. Stewie put up 25.
Reese got bodied by more than just Clark's moves. She got bodied by the stat line. And if you think this was the final chapter, you're missing the plot twist. What happens when pressure meets potential? Stick around. You won't believe what's next. One clip flipped the entire narrative, and it wasn't even accurate. People aren't ready to hear this, but the viral foul that blew up social media, it's straight up manufactured outrage. Everyone saw the clip, but nobody saw the full story. Here's the real tea. Angel Reese shoved Natasha Howard first, hard enough to spark a reaction. Then, Caitlin Clark's so-called aggressive foul happened after. But social media? Nah, they froze the moment right when Clark touched Reese, making it look like Clark was the villain. One tweet, one lazy edit, and suddenly a clean take. Foul turned into a hit piece.
You know, called out the media here for something that is obviously needed. This is something that's obviously has been needed to have been said. And Caitlin Clark actually, you know, decided to put something on the media, because the media has been focusing on everything but the sport of basketball. Reese repost TikToks, well, allegedly, saying that Indiana is unsafe and players need to go to Indiana to keep her safe. And again, I will always say she might have accidentally done it. She might have accidentally, a slip of a finger could have done that. Like, is trying to take the conversation. Which WNBA player do you want to pay respect to in honor of Atlanta's pay respect to women? She goes, DeWanna Bonner. I think moving to third all the time. I don't see people talking about that enough, which is a fact.
Funny how the video conveniently starts when Clark makes contact, completely skipping Angel's shove. Zero context, maximum height. Meme accounts screamed, "This is a war crime," while over-the-top reactions flooded timelines. Then Pat McAfee stepped in, calling it exactly what it was: manufactured outrage. This isn't just a bad cut, it's a culture war wrapped in clips and hashtags. The WNBA drama machine thrives on half-truths and viral moments, distracting from real issues on the court. Clark's calm under fire, that's strength nobody's giving her credit for. If you think this clip settled anything, think again. The real story? It's just getting started. You won't believe what's coming next. Caitlin Clark is a menace to society. She blinked too hard. Eject her now. You've seen those hot takes flooding Reddit, TikTok, and Twitter. The kind that sound more like memes than basketball analysis. People throwing shade like it's an Olympic sport. But here's the kicker. The real story isn't in the noise.
Like, it is literally, this was a great question that was asked, and I love the way she answered it.
Honestly, just DB. I think moving into third all time, like, I didn't see people talking about that enough. Like, I don't think people realize how big of a deal that is. Like, it's hard. I believe Tina Charles and then DT are the only two people in front of her, two people that have also given a lot to the game. So that's a huge milestone. Like, it's a huge achievement in this league that she's given so much to. And I've only been her teammate for a short period of time, but I've also been a competitor and played against her my rookie year, and she was one of the hardest people we had to go up against, and trying to game plan for her is really difficult. So honestly, her, I think, more people could give her flowers and appreciate what she's not only done recently.
Like, again, a lot of people are probably going to say, oh, Caitlin Clark, when asked about respect, she should have brought it on herself. But, like, she's never going to do that. She's never going to mention the crap that she has to deal with, because, to be fair, she probably doesn't even see half the stuff. But yeah, an interesting answer, and in fairness, a good answer. And I completely forgot. It was literally on my list of videos to cover yesterday, and I completely forgot. So yeah, that's the video. I'll see you guys.
It's in the chaos behind the screens. Scroll deeper and you find something wild. Fans standing up for Clark like she's their digital queen. This girl's getting hacked every game and still drops 30 like it's cardio. No cap. That's resilience. While the media tries to paint her as a villain or a drama magnet, the grassroots fandom, they're calling her the GOAT in the making. You'll see comment threads lit up with "CC is unstoppable" and "Let them play ball." No drama, just talent. This clash between media spin and fan reality is a microcosm of the bigger WNBA story. The league's star players are battling more than opponents on the court. They're fighting narratives off it. For Clark, every highlight comes with backlash. Every clutch shot met with sideways glances. But her fans, they see the truth through the noise. Raw skill, relentless grind, and zero apologies. This split says everything about sports culture today. The media sells drama, but the fans crave authenticity. And Clark, she's the perfect storm in that. Fight. Talent dripping in controversy, with a fan base ready to defend her at all costs. So, what's next for this digital showdown? The next wave of reactions might just blow up the entire conversation. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming. 9 games with 20-plus points and 10-plus assists in just 41 games. Yeah, you heard that right.
A Clark analogy, because I think it has struck you. And I don't know that anybody else, frankly, would make the analogy, because even if you thought of it in sports, so many people are terrified of saying anything that could be considered controversial in the realm of race. And to say, hey, a white girl's being treated differently because she's a white girl, it's like, oh my goodness, how dare you? And this email, I think it's because racism in this country.
Caitlin Clark is rewriting the WNBA playbook in real time, and the numbers don't lie. Diana Taurasi, she managed that feat 9 times, but across 565 games. Sabrina Ionescu, not even close. So why is the media still trying to act like Clark's just another rookie hype train? People aren't ready to hear this. But the cold, hard stats expose the narrative for what it really is. A desperate attempt to downplay a star who's already a franchise cornerstone. Clark isn't just filling seats, she's packing arenas, forcing teams to move venues to accommodate her growing legion of fans. WNBA front offices are scrambling because she's not just playing the game, she's changing it. This isn't about hype. This is pure, unfiltered dominance wrapped in ankle-breaking stepbacks and court vision so sharp it feels like cheat codes. And yet, some still want to question her impact. Maybe they're just allergic to excellence.
It has convinced black women that they can't be racist. And so unlike white golfers and unlike white tennis players who were like, man, I'm not going to do anything racist. I'm going to make sure that I welcome these people who look differently than me. And everybody ends up benefiting as a result. A lot of these black basketball players have decided white, but also because she's straight. There are a ton of lesbians as well. No shock to a lot of you, I would imagine, but in the WNBA. So Caitlin Clark has two differences compared to the group that she is entering. She's white and straight in a league that has a lot of black lesbians. If she weren't so dominant, it wouldn't be an issue. Again, this is according to one of our VIPs, former D1 basketball player. Other players are jealous of her.
Clark's rise isn't just a story about a player, and it's a seismic shift in WNBA culture and economics. She's proving that talent can drive attention, ticket sales, and even shake the foundation of the league's business. The question isn't whether she's overhyped, it's how long the rest of the league can keep up. So how long before the media stops playing catch-up and gives Clark the credit she's earned? Stick around, the next chapter of this takeover is about to get even more explosive. You want the truth? Pat McAfee just dropped a bomb that every sports media outlet has been too scared to admit. No filters, no fluff, just raw facts. Caitlin Clark isn't just a rising star. She's the golden goose the entire WNBA desperately needs. And guess what? The media hates it. People aren't ready to hear this, but McAfee ripped apart the narrative that's been trying to clip Clark's wings. While everyone else tiptoes around the story, McAfee called out the lazy cherry-picked edits, the manufactured controversies, and the silent fear behind the criticism. They're scared because she changed the game too fast, he said, and zero lies detected. This isn't just about one player balling out. It's a power shift. Clark's presence is forcing the league to evolve, front offices to rethink, strategies and media outlets to confront their own biases. The usual spin can't contain her, so they try to silence her.
She said, I never cared, this is our VIP emailer, about paying attention to the WNBA prior to her arrival. I took my daughter to her first game last year. Clubs make way more money if the girls look different. I'm just telling you, if you only have a strip club and every girl is a blonde, maybe that exists in Sweden, I don't know. It doesn't do as well as a Vegas-style strip club where every girl looks different. I'm just telling you, strip club is probably the greatest example of diversity working, because if every girl looks the same, they're all competing for the same dude, and a dude who might be interested in something else, he comes in, he doesn't spend his money. I don't know if we have any strip club operators listening right now.
McAfee's candid take is exactly the voice Gen Z has been waiting for. Blunt, unfiltered, and real. Clark isn't just playing basketball. She's rewriting the rules and daring anyone to say the quiet part out loud. The fact that McAfee, a mainstream sports personality, is breaking ranks exposes how deep the tension really runs. This is bigger than basketball. It's culture, power, and progress colliding on the court. So what happens next when the golden goose keeps shaking the cage? Stick around. The fallout is only getting started, and trust me, you don't want to miss the next chapter.
Games, I don't get a chance to watch many other games. What she has done for the business in Indianapolis, okay? I've gone to a couple Fever games we'll say BCC.
Okay.
Okay. Before Caitlin Clark, I went to a couple Fever games. Was lucky to go. Had a great team. Fever have had a great franchise. Great team for a long time. Won, like
2012.
Yeah, won.
Caitlin Clark isn't just rewriting the WNBA's highlight reels. She's causing a cultural earthquake nobody saw coming. The culture didn't see her coming, but the scoreboard did. People aren't ready to hear this. But this isn't just about Clark throwing shade at Angel Reese or the endless media circus. This is a seismic shift, a changing of the guard. Clark is
games. What she has done for the business in Indianapolis, okay? I've gone to a couple Fever games we'll say BCC.
Okay.
Okay. Before Caitlin Clark, I went to a couple Fever games. Was lucky to go. Had a great team. Fever have had a great franchise, great team for a long time. Won like
2012.
Yeah, won like back in the, I got here 2009. So like the Fever, good program, great fan base. Okay, we're talking 7,000, 10,000 people at those games, you know, in the middle of the week in Gamebridge Arena. Since she has arrived, every game that the Fever play in, that place is packed. That means local businesses are having a lot of uptick. What she has done for the
pulling a Steph Curry level makeover on the entire league, flipping the script on how basketball is played and marketed. She's reshaping the W, one ankle breaker and no look assist at a time, while enduring the kind of pushback only Trailblazers face, getting elbowed on court, edited out of narratives, and dissected under the harshest spotlight. The old guard, they're shook.
Caitlin Clark, if we're going to make comparisons a lot for number one picks, ran right into like a stout Suns defense and, you know, had a bunch of turnovers and things like that. I think that the reality is that it's just a tough matchup. It's a hard first game, and there were other things going wrong with the Wings, which we'll dive into. And beyond everyone starting cold, Enrique lost her composure mentally. I've seen this happen in the past, and there's like a theme of this opening weekend of the team that has a player crash out, they lose. The team doesn't perform, and Enrique didn't perform tonight. And the Wings D struggled mightily. They struggled. Melissa Smith does not look like there's been any.
Traditional gatekeepers desperately clinging to outdated storylines are suddenly scrambling, caught off guard by a young star who's not just playing the game, she's reinventing it. Clark's style isn't just flashy, it's revolutionary. She's turned arenas into electric arenas, forcing franchises to move venues just to keep up with demand. The league is trying to catch up, but Clark's already miles ahead, rewriting what it means to be a WNBA superstar in 2025. This moment isn't just about sports. It's culture, power, and identity crashing into the league's DNA. It's the rise of a new era where the game's future belongs to players who don't just score points, but change the conversation. And with Clark leading the charge, you better believe the WNBA will never look the same. So what's next when the culture's tectonic plates have shifted this hard? Stick around, but because this story is only getting started.
I'm in 140 games dating back to college. However, the Fever overcame to beat Atlanta at 81-76. Stephen A., what's the bigger headline from last night? The dust-up with Howard or Caitlin not hitting a three?
19 a game this year. She's leading the league in assists with 9 assists per game. We know her game will be there. Her shot will be there. It just wasn't there last night. The issue is anytime she...
Angel Reese. Villain, hero, or just plain better. Let's be real, no one's ready to admit how much she thrives in the drama, and maybe that's the point. People aren't ready to hear this, but Reese knows exactly what she's doing. Flopping hard, shoving opponents, throwing those death stares. It's all part of the act. She's TikTok's favorite antagonist, turning social media tours into highlight reels of controversy. But when the spotlight hits, when the game clock ticks down, that's when the real story breaks. The gap between showmanship and skill becomes impossible to ignore. Here's the cold truth. Angel Reese can hype the headlines, but Caitlin Clark sells out arenas. Reese's drama fuels chatter, sure, but Clark's dominance is a different level. She's the reason fans pack gyms, why the WNBA's popularity is skyrocketing. Stats don't lie. Clark's performances demand respect, turning her into a league cornerstone. Reese plays the villain role well, but Clark, she's rewriting the rule book. This isn't just a clash of personalities, it's a battle for the league's soul. You can sell jerseys with drama, but greatness, that's what sells out arenas. And in this new era, fans want the player who earns their cheers, not just the ones who stir the pot.
19 a game this year. She's leading the league in assists with 9 assists per game. We know her game will be there. Her shot will be there. It just wasn't there last night. The issue is anytime she gets into a confrontation, because whether we like it or not, I'm not trying to say there is a racial dynamic as if it's something specifically against her. Fellas, Molly, that's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that Caitlin Clark comes into the league, with major sizzle, many.
So, what's next? Will the WNBA crown the queen of spectacle or the queen of the court? Stick around. You won't believe how this rivalry rewrites everything. Caitlin Clark didn't just show up, she exploded onto the scene. No debates, no questions. She's here to dominate, rewrite the playbook, and reshape the entire WNBA landscape. People aren't ready to hear this, but the WNBA is in the middle of a seismic shift, and Clark is leading the charge. This isn't hype or hype culture feeding. An illusion. It's the hard truth. 41 out of 44 Fever games are now nationally televised. That's not coincidence. That's a franchise and a league betting big on Clark's star power. General managers around the league don't just see her as a great player. They've named her the #1 talent to build a franchise around. That's zero lies detected. Clark is more than a scorer or a highlight reel. She's a cultural phenomenon, breaking old narratives that underestimated the league's marketability and star potential. The old guard, they're shook. She's the spark the WNBA needed to prove it's not just a league, it's a movement. And this isn't just about basketball, it's about respect, recognition, and rewriting the story of women's sports on a national stage. So if you're still sleeping on Clark, keep watching the scoreboard. The numbers don't lie. This isn't overhype, it's overdue respect. The game is in good hands, and the future is blazing bright. Support women's sports. Support the Hoopers who are changing the game. And if you're still hating, well, the scoreboard says checkmate. Caitlin Clark didn't break the WNBA, she rebuilt it.